Speaking of which, when it comes to like science and the Bible, like how would you say you reconcile your relationship between the two personally?
So I never felt like I had to reconcile it. Like I always felt like the scientific arguments that I like found were very supportive of the Christian view. So whether it was creationism or like Noah's Ark or things like that. And what's crazy is like, so I started at like a Christian university and then I transferred to like a public university, University of North Texas, which has one of the top like forensic labs in the entire United States. But because they have those labs, like you got to study like older bones and stuff. So studying evolution, I actually took old world archaeology with Dr. Faring. You can look him up on Discovery Channel. He discovered a fossil that actually pressed the gap between ape and man even further apart. So it's kind of like, wow. Yeah. So I was like, okay, like God's like kind of showing me like, hey, like all this science, like it's going to keep working for my glory. Like, and every time I research something. So I don't feel like it's ever like, I know it does for like other people and like stuff I read, but personally science and the book like have always like worked for me.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Can you speak more on that? Like the, because I know like a common scientific argument when it comes to evolution and the Bible, like how they contradict, is that we are descended from apes or monkeys, you know, and I definitely was taught that in elementary school, like Homo sapiens, and you know, eventually we evolved into Neanderthals and discovered
from Neanderthals.
There you go. You know, like
Yeah.
I thought we taught that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, just like a quick, it's so funny. Everyone's a common misconception. Neanderthals actually went extinct. We didn't evolve from them.
There you go.
Yeah. There's an ape before us that, so it's what I can say is if you look at an ape, like just look at one, and evolution really uses like the bonobo. If you look at them, there are similarities. Yeah. Doesn't mean we evolved from them, but there are similarities. So I think that like piques the curiosity of people. Like, okay, well, like, you know, because when did people start guessing that we came from apes? You know, it wasn't until really Charles Darwin, you know, going through the Galapagos Islands and studying the turtles and the birds. He just kind of, you know, started putting some things together. So a lot of people say he's like the father of the theory of evolution. But yeah, so I think, it's a tough one. Like, so with the gap between man and ape. So I don't know, like personally, like I'm still working on that part. Sure. I don't believe that man evolved from ape. So yeah, and I guess we'll get into that later. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because I've always, I remember the first time I heard, I was at my previous church and they had this guy come in and he was from one of the Christian colleges around here, and he was talking about not just Christianity in relationship to other religions, but he talked about he threw like I don't know how to describe it, like just straight scientific thinking, like that's where I put my faith in. And he was the first one that said like, yeah, I'm a Christian, I believe in evolution. And I was like, what? I was so, like, because I was on the other side where it's like I believe these are incompatible, but I fall on Christianity's side. This is like early in my walk. I'm just like still piecing together all the stuff that I've heard of since I was a kid, but it just went in one ear, went out the other.
You were like, burn the witch.
No, for real. I was just like, I always remember there's I don't know if y'all played Halo growing up, but in Halo 2, when there's like this level where the character you're playing as is one of the elites, Arbiter. They're like actually going after like heretics in their alien race, and you'll just hear them all be like heretic, and you just go shoot them. Wow, right. I always think of that when I hear that word. But and he starts talking, and he broke it down. And he was like, "There's, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is now I can like check this." But he was talking about there's like macro and microevolution. Like, yes, microevolution was like we have different breeds of dogs, like that's. They obviously are different. They're all related in the same species, but they are different.
Yes.
But like the macroevolution that like everything came from like, or we came from a single cell, That he doesn't subscribe to.
Yeah, macroevolution is evolution between species. Microevolution is almost very similar to adaptation. It's evolution within a species. So
Okay, and that's kind of the stuff that Darwin saw with like different birds, like their beaks were different for whatever they ate or what the environment they were in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that being the first kind of nudge to reconciling the two for myself.